Okay, so felt a little extra crazy and decided to do an hour of cardio instead of the standard 30 minutes. And I mean, you can't really go wrong doing extra cardio. Obviously, getting somewhere into the range of like, 3 hours, anything that crazy, you might be asking for trouble in terms of, I guess, not like over stressing yourself, but kind of overreaching. You would be getting to a point of, well, maybe overdoing it. But frankly, what percentage of lifters are overdoing it with their cardio? Honestly, I'd probably say zero. I'd say zero is not a bad bet for that particular metric. Now let's just run through some standards here. Totally unpumped, except for the residual kind of maybe slight extra veininess of having done cardio, but nothing that should really affect anything size-wise. So this is a really good indication of just where I'm at body fat-wise for this particular moment, which I think is day 49, day 50 or so of the starting phase. I don't know, something like that. Oh, okay. What else is there? Standard vacuum. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, cardio complete. I'll really get a good grasp of how this kind of update really looks when I see this clip on the computer instead of just looking through the whole camera screen. Let's get in the car and get out of here. Go back home and eat something. All right. The audio might be a little bit scuffed because I'm just using the little built-in microphone. I forgot to get my little fancy pants once. But let's spread it out. Let's spread this one out across today. I've got a habit of just, highlighting the lift, and then that's the end of it. But there's more to it. Don't forget, this cardio kind of shit, this is a daily occurrence. This is not a one-day special. This is not, I'm feeling a little extra locked in today. Let's do some cardio. Cardio's happening. The cardio is fucking happening. So, just, maybe maybe I just brought the little setup with me because I wanted to push cardio into your face. Just really put it out there. Bring it some more focus. But I'm not joking. The cardio does have specific training related benefits beyond just, oh, do your cardio, it's good for you, or whatever, which it totally is. I mean, frankly, if there was ever a time when I had to stop working out, which I can't even imagine a freaking alternate universe where that would be the case. But the cardio would never stop. It's just a fucking improver on all aspects of your life, Better overall endurance. You sleep better. You get a better metabolism. Just a lot of regular, quality of life boosts. But on a more specific basis, thinking about the training, you will be stronger. You will be more resilient. You will simply be a better lifter, So one aspect of that, which I really like to reference, is better training endurance. When you're actually in the gym doing these sets, you're not going to get winded so much in between. Now, of course, after set of squats or leg press or something like that, you're still going to be pretty tired, right? That's just legit, right? You go hard. But looking at it on a more even smaller scale, if you've got reasonable cardio, like if you actually do cardio on the regular, then what else? Yeah, so if you actually do your cardio on the regular, and guess what? You're not going to fail your sets because your cardiovascular system gave out. You're going to fail because you reached real muscular fucking failure, you know? So that's what I'm aiming for. The last thing I want to do is make my weight-based training stressful in a cardio style kind of way, because that's not what I'm aiming for, right? I'm trying to wreck my chest, not my lungs, right? And get my heart rate up to 130 or, well, no, not 130, but no, up to like 180 for the whole workout. I mean, that'd be ridiculous. So all I'm trying to get at there is simply, if you do your cardio on a regular basis, and I'm not saying every day, 30 minutes, no exceptions, but even just a couple more times a week than you are now, which could be zero. Obviously, everybody got to start somewhere. Then I promise you've got some benefits to be reaped. So you're going to be performing better on a set-by-set basis. I think you're going to sleep better. I've got just a better overall metabolism. I feel like my stomach doesn't get so upset, especially if I eat kind of funkier food sometimes. And by funky, I just mean like shit which really impacts your blood sugar or maybe your gut biome. I'm talking like just sweets or anything else. Because if you're physically burning more calories throughout the day by being more active, then those calories have to come from somewhere. So it also adds a little bit of a buffer into what kind of foods you can eat. You know, I'm not going to be stressing if I have 50 grams of sugar today, because, you know, if I wanted to like grab a handful of something or other that was in the kitchen as a snack or something, because I know, okay, well, I just did, today, but usually, you know, half an hour cardio, 40 minutes of cardio sometimes. Like, I just basically gave my body a need to burn off some extra fuel. There is a certain value to the idea that you can outlift a bad diet. Now, of course, don't do that, right? You want your diet to be coinciding with the goals that you want to get lift-wise. But, you know, there's a reason why that one guy who works out every fucking day like a nutcase can eat a bit more junk and not gain a ton of body fat than the dude who doesn't work out at all, because he's actually using those calories physically, right? Burning them off. Whereas, you know, somebody else can eat the exact same McDonald's breakfast, maybe a scrappy lunch, some vending machine snacks, and whatever for dinner. One other guy can put on a lot of extra body fat, and the other dude can actually utilize those calories for fuel, depending on if he's active enough, you know? So that's my shtick there. Better pumps, better lifts, better life, right? 30 minutes of cardio on the regular. Cannot stress it enough. But I'm kind of, I'm doing a little bit of predicting now, because I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to feel later. But assuming that next up is going to be either first set of chest, or maybe we'll just do like a double car talk and jump straight to the car on the way to chest. But, oh wait, no, I remember what I was talking about. Yeah, I wanted to do dumbbell bench. Yeah, get some dumbbell press. Well, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see there. But I think that this will be a good pre-talk. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to start with. How about let's just cut to the warm-up of chest, and we can find out where my headspace is at with tonight's lift when it happens. So let's just jump over there. Let's not go too crazy. 3 plates and a 10 should be just about right. Maybe 12. Let's just find out.
Yeah. Oh, too heavy. Let's lose the tens. Oh my goodness. That's good though. Yeah. 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 Okay. One more. Oh. Yeah. 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 Okay. All right. I'm not done. I just gotta make that a rest pause. Yeah. 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 Okay. All right. Let's move on. Those were a good 3. And also, if you'll notice, whoa, Sam touching the bar to his chest. Yeah, I'm trying to work on the depth. I tell you something though, it is hard to try to work on that fully bulked because my chest feels so tight when I'm full of carbs. It's like I don't want to go any lower. So that's where I think there's a big value for me in working on a lot of the form when I'm dieting down. Because the fact that I'm not full of I could probably gain 10 pounds of carbs and water in the next 3 days if I ate like crazy and carved up. So the fact that I'm a little bit more depleted, I can feel I get a better stretch and I can actually get deeper without feeling like I'm going to pull anything. So what I really want is to maintain that range of motion into my next bulking phase. Because obviously, deeper stretch, more range of motion, more activation to a degree, but that's good. So let's move on to some kind of something. I don't know. Maybe a fly or a cable press. Let's do some bent over, slightly declined cable press. And with these, more so focused on how it feels on the squeeze portion at the bottom. That's where I'm exerting most of my effort. Whereas those incline Smith sets, it was kind of harder down here in the stretch position. Right? That's why I failed the reps and I couldn't get it all the way back up. So it's like I'm trying to focus on different angles and different sort of portions of the reps, which are really, I guess you could say, dealing the most damage. But this will be a good squeezing set. Not too light, not too heavy. Let's go from here. Oof. Oof. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. One more. Yeah. 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 Okay. So yeah, drops that. Ah. Okay. Not bad. I should have swung a bench over here and done these more like this. Actually, yeah, that was a little blunder on my part. That would have been way better. 2 good sets though. Let's do some flies and see how pumped I can get. Which is the point all the time, but you know what I'm saying. This is going to be a bit of a quicker, more pumpish looking set. So not a crazy 1 second hold, 2 second eccentric, just 42.5 pounds in either hand, and then as many reps as I can get. Good contrast to some of the slower squeezing stuff earlier. Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh. Let's do one more in a drop set fashion. I think that'll be it. So this will be heavy, well, heavier, same weight as before, but more slow controlled reps in front of the body in the beginning. You know, do 10, do 12, burn out, and then drop the weight by about half and do some more kind of holding reps. So that'll be the tricky part down here. These reps will be hard the whole way through. I mean, they're just hard sets. But once I drop the weight, I want to be very methodical and at the bottom, squeeze my hands together as hard as I can for a moment before we're coming out for a big stretch and repeating. So actually, let me pick a better song. Yeah. 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 Okay. Oh. All right. Yeah. I think that's good. 3 sets of Smith, 2 sets of cable, 2 sets of other cable. Yeah. 7. That's about right. Go pose down. So 7 sets, some heavier than others, some more squeezing focused than others. But across the board, I have reason to believe, which that reason is about to be, shown as fact, that it got me reasonably fucking pumped. Now, meal-wise today, not much. Not much. I had half of a Subway sandwich. So, obviously, the protein of a Subway turkey sandwich, it's probably not, A plus grade on the protein grading scale. So I did count it as like, 5 grams. But most of the protein was just from about 3/4 pound of ground beef, eaten over the course of, I don't know, like an hour, kind of just scratching at it, coming back to it in the fridge later. And, oh yeah, and some crushed up taco shell with fat-free cheese on the inside. But I almost just fucking distracted myself by how I'm looking. Yeah, so I'm starting to see much more grain separating pecs and shoulders and fucking abs and everything. Holy shit. Holy crap. Oh, yeah. So for a month and 3 weeks, the midsection is starting to become much more defined. I can actually see individual abs and everything else. Oh my goodness. So, fast forward a month from now, all sorts of these gill-like things in there should just get more and more separated and fucking freaky looking. Which, guess what? I can barely wait for. Oh my gosh. So, morning weight, I don't know because I didn't take it this morning. Because as soon as I got up, I started drinking my kind of electrolyte concoction to instantly rehydrate before cardio. But definitely leaner, man. I mean, pump by pump, especially chest day by chest day, these differences are beginning to add up rather fucking quickly. Woo. Oh. Okay. One more double bite shot, and then let's get out of here. Oh. All right, let me back up a little. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. It's fucking hard holding these poses, especially after a lift. But, yeah, this is very motivating for me to say, okay, as much as I probably would like a family-sized bag of M&Ms right now, in exchange for getting leaner, yeah, no freaking question. Let's get in the car. Chest complete. Now I get to go home and eat something. I am fucking hungry. Yeah, it felt a little crazy busting out the hour of cardio this morning. Had to make up for the 30 minutes that a couple of lifters did not do. Not you. I know you did your 30 minutes like a G, but it's everybody else. And it's everybody else. They just don't see the value. No idea why, right? Feel like, well, we get the gist. But no, that was a good chest day. Not, yeah, didn't want to go too crazy. And then those Smith sets were a bit more controlled than I did on the last chest day. Yeah, last chest day I think I was going a little bit too crazy, like 3 plates and a 25, and those reps were a little faster paced. No, especially dieting down for the heavier work, I'm trying to slow my pace on those reps. No, no insane jolts of force that could really mess you up if you're not careful. But that was a good one. That was a good one. The only thing I would have changed is I really should have done incline bench or put an incline bench on those cables instead of doing the bent over press. That would have actually probably boosted that lift by a couple of points. Not like a million, but by a couple. So that's the only thing I would have changed. But those sets of flies at the end, solid. Really just trying to pump up the chest, which dieting down is kind of the point. I mean, you're not going to see me suddenly lift any crazy numbers over the course of these next 2 or 3 months, because that's not what I'm aiming for. And it never is. I mean, I shouldn't be trying to go too heavy anyway. But what I'm trying to say there is, the strength output is not directly correlated with what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to maintain the muscle I've already built. I don't need to somehow, or I don't need to suddenly start trying to, rep 405. It just doesn't. Well, that's an easy thing to say now that it's okay. I've tried doing that before. I've realized that's not necessarily the method, and now I get to try a little more reasonable approach. But it's not all about the weight. To an extent, there is value in that, especially as a beginner. Progressive overload is going to be pretty much 1-to-1 with your size. If you get twice as big, or if you get 50% bigger than you were before, or whatever percentage, you gain 20 pounds of muscle in your first few years of working out, yeah, you're gonna basically gain strength in tandem with that size. And vice versa. If you work on your strength, you are also going to build size. But of course, there's a diminishing return to everything. There's a reason why there's a reason why top bodybuilders aren't all, benching 600 pounds for reps. Even though, some of these guys have like 100 pounds in the off season on me. As crazy as that might sound. I mean, 340 in the off season, that is uncommon, but among, the elite kind of guys who go down the open bodybuilding path, that's what they're working with, But there's a reason why they're not benching 600, because there is a limit to essentially the utilizable weight in a bodybuilding muscle growing context. And I think around that 3 plate mark, maybe 3 plates into 25, is probably the sweet spot for me, at least on bench. Now, that's not to say if I don't feel crazy strong in the future, maybe I wouldn't want to try a heavier set, but I am just asking for trouble, So I think I might just keep it plain, stick around that 3 plate mark on barbell or Smith. Like, there's no reason for me to go above 150-pound dumbbells, I don't think. Definitely not in a dieting down context. So that's kind of where my head's at with the weight, right? I want to keep the intensity at the max. I want to keep the consistency at the max. Don't necessarily need the weight to be at the max, right? I want to be using well-scaled weights for however my training is dictating it at the time. So right now, don't need that much, nothing too crazy. What I'm really just trying to do is make sure every lift I get a solid pump. I well stimulate the muscle so that when I go home and eat in a calorie deficit, literally eating less food than my body wants me to, that I still basically allocate a good amount of energy to maintaining my muscle and then burn off some of the excess fat, right? That's kind of the whole point here, right? Stay as big and beefy, but get trimmed down. Get trimmed down just a touch. So, what day is today? The 23rd? It's almost December, man. All right, the 12 days of Liftmas are on their way. And then January 1st, right? A holiday for some and a curse for others, especially those who are used to maybe a more relaxed gym environment, right? New Year's is coming in full force. So your gym will likely be more packed than it is now. Do not look at that as a bad thing. Simply look at it as there being more people involved. But, obviously that's how you should think about it. But, you will watch, right? Year in, year out, history repeats itself. But pretty much at this point, I've actually been going to the same gyms that I've been to since I started working out. Back when I was still 160 in high school. Like the Y is the same one I've been going to forever. So you see a lot of the same faces, and it's just nice, man. Because outside of that, you don't really have anything where you interact with the same people, basically, multiple times throughout the week. Apart from like sometimes your friends or just anybody you work with. So that's nice. That's one thing I miss about being at school was the school's gym. It's real packed. Everybody's the same dude showing up at the same time, basically throughout the entire week. Real good environment over there. I feel a little bad for anybody that's over there now a little bit because I'll get comments about it still. Let's just say there's a lot more tripods in that gym than there were before. I'm kind of setting a little bit of a bad example with that. So, whatever. But plan for the meal after that lift. I don't know. It's kind of late. It's already 6:30, so I don't need a crazy amount. I think I'm at. Oh yeah, I've had maybe 1,200 calories so far today, something like that. So I've got room. I might just have I don't know. I'm not just gonna have one crazy big meal. That might throw off my appetite for tomorrow. I'll probably just split that into 2 reasonably sized meals. Into a breakfast for dinner situation. Kind of got a hankering for just a regular toasted bagel with butter. And, do not be fooled. There is no such thing, I feel, as a conventionally healthy food or a healthy meal and a conventionally unhealthy meal. Right? There is simply meals with, lots of these macronutrients and less of others. So, I could imagine having 50 grams of protein worth of egg whites, probably 5 grams of fat worth of olive oil to cook that in, combined with a toasted bagel, about 52 grams of carbs, 3 of fats, and then a tablespoon of butter, another 10 grams of fat. So that put me at about 15 of fat, 50 of carbs, and 50 of protein. Do the math. That's about 600 calories. So it's not so simple as just, okay, I'm going to have a salad, I'm going to have oven roasted turkey breast with no seasoning and no nothing. Like, obviously, if you think about it like that, that would be a reasonably healthy meal. Not full of sugar, not full of like all sorts of different kinds of saturated or unsaturated fats. I forget which one's the bad one, which one's the good one, or whatever. But I can't stress it enough. If you can be a bit more, let's just say, involved with kind of understanding what kind of calorie intake you're working with, what sort of foods are going to let you reach that calorie intake, and then which foods are going to have subjective, well, not even subjective, but different attributes which match your dieting, then dude, you can basically walk around like a cheat code. I mean, I think I could somehow, if I had no other, what I'm trying to say here is, if I said to myself, okay, I need to eat a tub of Ben & Jerry's tomorrow. I need to eat a 1,200 calorie tub of Ben & Jerry's cookies and cream tomorrow. I have to have it. I could probably do it fine. Like, it would throw me off. Of course, I would have that's a lot of sugar. It would probably really kind of throw off some of my blood sugar. But if I tracked everything and then I made sure to stay under my calorie limits and within my macro ranges for the day, I wouldn't suddenly wake up 5 pounds heavier. I would have just gotten my daily energy allotment from that source. It wouldn't be the most ideal, because that would not make me feel very full. I'd probably be hungry again an hour later, because by the time it gets into my gut and everything, it's just going to melt in like nothingness. It won't have any substance. which is gonna kind of decide whether or not food makes you feel full or not. You could have a bowl full of just like shredded chicken and half a pound of lettuce, and if you ate that whole thing, you'd probably feel pretty fucking full, even though it might have like 20 grams of carbs total. But if you can if you can work around it like that, then you can give yourself a buffer. I'm not just gonna say no to any kind of sweets or anything in a no holds barred fashion. I'm gonna say, okay, if I want like a couple M&Ms, or if I really have to have some kind of something or other, take it into account, track the calories into it, and then make sure that you're on track to whatever your overarching goal is. So that's where I think probably just look up some macro tracking tutorial videos, look up maintenance calories, things like that. And then I know it might feel like studying, like a chore, but that will improve your lifting journey if you can start doing it. No rush. Obviously, macros and calories, they're not going anywhere, so you don't have to do it this very moment. But the best time to start tracking your macros was probably 4 years ago. The second best time is right now. But that's all I got there. So back a day tomorrow. Not sure exactly where I'm gonna go, but I am sure I'm gonna have some veins crawling across my traps, which I'm excited for. So now all I gotta do is not go over my calorie limit, get a good night's rest, and get ready for that. So I'll see you then.